Yo guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm back with the first race of the F3 Psgl Championship at Australia, and obviously this is my fastest qualifying lap. You'll see on the top right, my fastest lap time is currently a 27.0, which really isn't good. And that's basically because for the first half of qualifying, I was actually running brake assist for some reason. Despite it being restricted, it just turned itself on, so it ruined my first run on the super soft tyre. And luckily I managed to work it out before I went out on my second run. So I was already really down on pace. I didn't get 2 runs in on the super soft tyre, which is normally what I do. I normally do a first run just to get used to the track and then do a quicker run. But going into this race I was expecting to do a 2-stop. I just wasn't quick enough on the soft tyre in qualifying, so I thought starting the super soft would just be the quickest strategy. But overall, I just really wasn't confident around this track. It's very easy to cut corners, and the curves really spit you out if you go over them too fast. So it's quite a difficult track to get used to. But overall, it's been a fairly decent lap. I think I can get into the top 10. Current round, the penultimate corner, and the final corner, which is incredibly difficult not to oversteer or understeer even. We're coming up to the line, and we are going to go P7. But at the end of qualifying we do drop down to 11th place, which I was actually perfectly happy with, because the second I saw that I knew I could do a 1-stop. So, you know, despite not getting in the top 10, I'm perfectly happy starting in 11th place for the first race of the season. So yeah, that's qualifying. Let's jump straight into the race. So here we are for the race. We have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's lights out and away we go. It's a fairly decent start. Starting on the soft tyre, obviously, and we have the outside line, which should help us down to turn 1. But having to brake very early is Mr. Stim. I don't really know. He just broke incredibly early. I don't know if he had someone in front of him that brake checked him. But we get held up by him and we move down to 12th position. And just like most league races, I was just overly cautious on the first lap. I didn't want to break my wing, didn't want to ruin my race this early on in the race. But Mr. Stim trying to go on the outside of RDO. He gets tapped wide by the McLaren and we go back up into 11th place. Now we sit behind the McLaren. He gets I think he got spat out by the curb there. We try and have a look up the inside, but we just miss the back of him. We remain in 11th place, but it's looking like a little bit spacious now. It seems to have calmed down over the first sector. And it looks like we have remained in 11th place. Still behind the McLaren of RDO, but Ash Best, I don't even know what happened. I don't know how you can outbrake yourself that much or if he got hit off, but we move up into 10th place as we head into the 3rd sector. However, coming to the end of lap 1, coming to the penultimate corner, we hit the back of RDO under braking, and I think it just broke a bit early, much like Mr. Stim did at turn 1. We're coming down the main straight. We're now under pressure from Mr. Stim. We force him to the inside because the outside line is where you want to be. You want to get carry as much speed as possible through the first corner onto the second straight. But Mr. Stim, I have no idea what that was. He had the inside line and just forced me off track, but thanks to that damage we do have to pit. The 1-stop is gone now. We're not going to be able to make it work because I was losing too much time in the corners, especially out of the final corner as you saw. And at this point I decided I was going to go onto the medium tyre, take him as far as I could into the race and hopefully go onto the super soft tyre at the end. And I was kind of surprised there wasn't a safety car at some stage, but coming into sector 2 you can see Yarham in the Williams. I've no idea what happened to him. He's going incredibly slowly. We go have a look around the outside. It's going to be difficult with the broken wing, but we're trying to go on the outside of him. We're side by side, but he's going to get the better traction, and he holds on to 9th place for now, heading down to the fast chicane. It's going to be incredibly difficult to stay with him with this damaged front wing, but we're going to try our best. I don't know if he had damage as well, but coming out of the last chicane, I'm just going to stay silent. Yeah, that just happened. That was the end of my race. Mr. Stim lags into me, flips me upside down, and we go flying, quite literally, into the barrier. And we are out of my first race in F3. And yeah, when that happened, I was quite literally shocked. I mean, even now, I have no words for that. Absolutely no words. But yeah, that was my F3 race. It didn't last long. The game fucked us over in qualifying thanks to the brake assist. And thanks to lag, we get taken out of the Australian Grand Prix. So at the end of round 1, we're going to come out with no points. But yeah, to end this video, I'm going to show you what it looked like from Mr. Sim's point of view.
What the fuck? What the fuck?